What's going on? It's Mitch here, and in today's video, I want to share with you a YouTube ads webinar I did about a month ago that shows you exactly how you can fill your calendar with 6 to 12 plus qualified inbound appointments straight into your calendar, and how you can scale to 7 and even 8 figures using YouTube ads and a commission-based sales team. I did this webinar about a month ago with my private clients, and I allowed people that were subscribed to us to get access to this live webinar that I did on how you can use YouTube ads and how I learned YouTube ads from a guy spending $40,000 a day, and how I was able to scale our business and add an additional $100,000 to $200,000 a month in cash collected using YouTube ads, and how you can use this as well. So we're going to cover like why YouTube ads and what this big scaling opportunity is, and how you can leverage it to really scale and really just geometrically grow your business. I dive into my story on how I learned YouTube ads from a guy spending $30,000 to $40,000 per day, every single day on YouTube ads, and he's doing it at a very, very high level, and he's just doing that on YouTube. He does about another $30,000 to $40,000 a day on Facebook, and so he's very, very high level, and so I was able to learn from him because I'm in another mastermind. And that's the power of masterminds, being around these high-level individuals. You get to learn from each other, and so I learned from him. Again, I didn't take a course, and I was able to then scale our business and add an additional $150,000 to $200,000 a month just on YouTube ads, not counting other additional revenue streams, just from YouTube ads alone. And I'm going to show you exactly what I learned and how you can apply this to your own business to really just, one, fast track yourself on YouTube ads, and how you can really scale really exponentially using the power of YouTube ads and paid advertising. I go into extreme detail on my YouTube ads ecosystem and how you can leverage this to scale to 7 and even 8 figures using that remote commission-based sales team, as well as appointment setters in conjunction with the paid advertising. So again, nobody really talks about this. They talk about just the paid ads. I'm going to show you this ecosystem that I talk about and how you can really use it for a more holistic marketing strategy to really scale the business. And then we go into further detail on how I basically cross-pollinate across multiple channels using inbound and outbound strategies, again, using appointment setters and being able to really get that inbound appointments coming straight onto the calendar, warm, red hot, inbound qualified. They fill an application and they're really, really hot. And so I'm going to show you how you can cross-pollinate multiple channels so you're not reliant on Facebook ads and your account getting banned, and you're able to really apply, again, a more holistic strategy so you're not reliant on one thing. And, obviously if someone just unplugs and then your whole business is down. So I'm going to show you how to put together a more holistic plan in place and how to really start to cross-pollinate through multiple channels, leveraging YouTube ads and a few different channels, creating an omnipresent marketing machine, again, so you're not really reliant on one channel, and you're also everywhere to your prospects. So they go and they look on Forbes, you're on Forbes, they go Google your name, you're on Google, they go to YouTube, they see on YouTube, they go on other platforms, you're following them around. And so I'm going to show you exactly how you can do this and, again, become omnipresent to your niche and really just fill the calendar with those qualified appointments. I'm also going to give you my 7-figure winning YouTube ad scripts and frameworks. So if you want that, comment YouTube ad scripts below on this YouTube video, and I'll go and link it in the comments for you. So comment YouTube ad scripts if you want this, and I'll also link it, but I'm going to share it with you, and I break it down and I go into extreme detail, and I even show you some of my ads that are working, that are just producing like crazy, and so you can model off them as well. And so without further ado, let's jump in and let's get into the webinar. So I'm going to show you in today's live training how to fill your calendar with 6 to 12 qualified inbound appointments per day, okay? And how you can scale to 7 and even 8 figures, so $1 million a month, using YouTube ads and a commission-based sales team. Okay, this is really nothing I've shared before. So in our programs, again, if your client's watching this, we have a program where we teach you how to do Facebook ads and everything like that as well, and how to do LinkedIn, how to build outbound sales teams, how to build a commission-based sales team. But I'm going to show you how we actually have been leveraging YouTube ads for the past 9 months and have been scaling to over $150,000 a month just on YouTube ads alone, and how we're pulling in $90,000 a month in profit. And I'm going to show you the numbers to back it up here in a minute, and show you exactly how you can do it and how we're getting about 300 to 400% return on ad spend every single month, okay? So this is going to be showing you the whole YouTube advertising, but also omnipresent marketing system. So it's not just YouTube ads, it's the whole collective ecosystem that we build around it that's been able to get this really high ROI on the ads. And again, coupled with appointment setters and the outbound stuff, as well as inbound closers, taking calls, taking inbound appointments, and being able to scale, again, to 7 figures in profit, right? So, and we're getting 340, 400% in return on ad spend every single month. So we'll walk through the raw numbers. I'll show you inside of my account. We'll show you how you can scale to $150K a month to $1 million a month fast. And again, this is just through YouTube ads and a commission-based sales team, not the other stuff with LinkedIn, everything that we teach, and Facebook organic. This is just with YouTube ads. Okay. So in today's training, what we're going to cover is why YouTube ads, okay? And why YouTube ads out of all these other platforms? Why not Google ads? Why not Facebook ads, Instagram ads? Why not anything else? Why YouTube ads? And also walk through the huge scaling opportunity of YouTube ads and how you can leverage it and how you can get massive, massive scale out of it, okay? And I'm going to tell you a little bit of story. So story of how I even stumbled upon YouTube ads and what I learned from a guy literally spending $30,000 to $40,000 a day per day just on YouTube ads alone. So he's spending 30 to 40 grand a day just on YouTube ads. And he also spends another 30, 40 grand a day on Facebook ads. So if you can do the math on that, that's a lot of money that he's spending every single day. And I didn't learn this stuff from buying a course. I didn't learn this stuff from, buying these different programs. I learned it from this guy spending $30,000 a day on YouTube ads. And I learned it from doing it. Okay. And I'm going to show you how you can leverage this as well. And then I'm going to walk through our entire YouTube ads ecosystem. So it's an ecosystem that we build around it because YouTube is a platform. And how we built an ecosystem around the ads because we do this in conjunction with a few other things as well as running the paid ads. But I'm going to show you we can kind of leverage this entire ecosystem. And then also how we use and leverage a commission-based sales team to scale to 7 and 8 figures, right? How you can do that as well, okay? And then I'm going to walk through how you can cross-pollinate YouTube ads outbound, right, and organic channels to create a highly profitable omnipresent marketing machine, okay? So again, this is the ecosystem where you're cross-pollinating the ads with outbound, right, appointment setters. You have organic channels like YouTube Organic on LinkedIn, how you can cross-pollinate these things to drive more traffic and ultimately, get more appointments on the calendar, get more clients, and scale the business, okay? Then we're going to talk about how to structure the campaigns using what I call vertical and horizontal scaling methods, okay? So how you can scale vertically and horizontally and how you can structure your campaigns. We're going to walk through how you can actually, structure the campaigns. I'm going to show you everything you need to do to actually structure them, to actually start getting the ads up, and then you can start to scale it up, okay? So I'm going to provide massive, massive value, and I'm also going to give you my script and how to create these highly profitable YouTube ads in 24 hours or less, okay? And again, this is for you if you're you're a coach, consultant, you have a coaching program, info product, your financial services. This is for you if you're if you have a course, right? And if you have a B2B offer, like YouTube ads is amazing for this, right? I'm going to show you how you can do this with YouTube ads. And then I'm also going to give you a bonus. So if you stick around to the end, I'm going to give you a copy of my 7-figure winning YouTube ads script. And I'm going to give you bonus another plus 7 hooks that you can use for the first 5 seconds of the ad, which are arguably the most important. And then how you can start to script them, create them, and do it in like 24 hours. Again, you don't need any fancy equipment and you can get them up and running and launch them very, very quickly, okay? And then I'm going to walk through how to identify bottlenecks and unlock unlimited scale and reach to the next level in your business, okay? So if everyone's pumped for the training and what we're going to cover, post a 3 in the chat. And we'll go ahead and we'll dive into the details and let's go. I'm pumped. Let's go. 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. Let's go. Awesome. Cool. So first off, let's talk about like why YouTube ads, why not anything else, why YouTube ads for scaling. Okay. And what the huge scaling opportunity is. Okay. And yes, you will receive the recording. Don't worry. This is all recorded, but YouTube and video specifically is extremely powerful. Right? So video is a format that's much more powerful than just image and text. So a lot of these other ad platforms like YouTube, Google, Facebook, Instagram, they're mainly text-based. I mean, you can obviously run video on there, right? But the video is much more powerful and the message has a higher retention, right? And obviously compared to text, which is like 10%, right? And the brain processes the visuals, right, 60,000 times faster than text. So immediately someone can see what it is that you do and it immediately captures their attention, right? And the way that this works and the way YouTube works is the more attention you can get, so the more people that are on like viewing your ad, right, and sticking to it, the more clicks and the more sales you'll get, right? So the more attention you can capture and keep, right, especially through a video, and you can use different tactics to actually keep their attention, right? Using different triggers, right? Getting them to stay on the video, right? And then ultimately click. And also video just builds deeper rapport and trust with your audience, right? They see your face, right? So you can put your face in it. I'm also going to show you how to use just slides and different video that you can use as well. But it builds deep rapport and trust with your audience, and ultimately a higher conversion rate when you get them on the phone. Okay, this is what I've seen compared to Facebook ads and compared to other mediums that we use. We have the highest conversion rates through YouTube ads, okay? Because I'll tell you this, they see an ad of you, right, through video. Then the next thing they do is we drive them to another video, right? And I'm going to walk through that whole process in the funnel that we use. We drive them to another video. They see your face there, right? And then they see your face again on a live Zoom call, right? And then they already have seen you in 3 different locations, and they've checked out some of your other videos. And again, the ecosystem we're going to build. And so they already have built that trust, that rapport with you. So when they get on the phone, it's like, okay, I already know this person, and I like what they offer. And then I'm going to obviously look to actually work with them and pull the trigger and become a client, right? So they see you in multiple places. And again, this is almost like from like the dating space, like you take them to multiple locations out for a date, they start to build more trust and rapport with you, and they build a deeper connection. Similar kind of concept here when you're taking them from an ad video to another video on a different location on a site, and then take them to a Zoom call on a video Zoom call. And we've seen high conversion rates with that, like 40-50% conversion rates on the phone. And I'm going to show you my numbers behind that on over 100-200 calls. Okay. And with YouTube ads as well, you only pay for 30-second views. Okay. So, and people that click on the ad, obviously, right? So if someone watches your ad for 20 seconds and then they click away or they skip the ad, you don't pay for it. Okay. So that's the beauty of it. So they can watch like 20 seconds of it. Once they reach 30 seconds, then you pay for that view. And you pay per view is how it works. And then you also get paid per click, right? So very, very powerful because you only pay for people that view it. Okay. And again, YouTube is an ecosystem, okay? It's a platform. Typically, it's like a kind of like a social platform, right? Where people can view videos, they can comment, everything like that. But YouTube is an ecosystem where there's organic side and there's ad side as well, right? And it's driven through intent and infinity, okay? So what this means is that for intent, people who are actively in the market looking for solutions to what you offer. So they're either, and since Google owns YouTube, they're searching on Google, for, how to, get clients for my e-commerce business, or they're searching these different terms, how to build my sales team, or, they're looking at different solutions on the internet, whether through YouTube search, right? Because it's a search engine as well, or through Google search. And then that's fed into Google AdWords, an ad platform. And you're able to basically capitalize on the intent of the market and put ads in front of those people that have that intent to what you have to offer. Okay, so very, very powerful. And then there's also affinity, right? So since Google and YouTube, and they're basically they're basically tracking the web, right? So they can take different sources and different behaviors across you and users on their platform, or just in Google in general, and they can basically see people who have similar attributes, right, and behaviors to other people have taken the actions that we want them to take, or obviously Google wants them to take. And then also based on their web history across Google and other various websites, right? So basically, if Jeff, that's obviously my head of client success, say he's watching videos that have affinity and he's also going on similar sites, then they're going to show like, hey, Mitch, he looks like Jeff, so let me show you an ad to him, right? So that's how it works. So you can target people based off intent and affinity. Okay, so very, very, very powerful. And for example, like high intent would be like, let's say someone's watching a video on how to use LinkedIn Sales Navigator, right? Because that's what part of one of our programs. We help them with LinkedIn is one of the methods we use, right? So I can target people who's searching Sales Navigator, LinkedIn Sales Navigator, how to use LinkedIn, right? And I can take all these keywords, or if they're watching the video, and I can put my ad on that video that they're watching right now. And I can't tell you how many clients that I've signed up that said I was literally looking it up and I was watching a video on how to use LinkedIn and your ad popped up. And that's how it works. So very, very high intent. And then you can basically take this traffic and then put it onto you and on your product and service, and then get clients very, very simply. Okay. And then they have like medium intent. So like they're watching just general marketing tips, maybe how to use like Instagram or how to use Facebook ads. And then boom, my ad hits on them there. Right. Or low intent, they're just watching videos of like influencers or different YouTube people on there. I can put my ad in front of them. Right. So again, people that have affinity to my audience, I can tap into their audience and then bring them into my world. Okay, so very, very powerful. And again, these people can also be similar to what apps they use, sites they browse, things that they purchase or click on in conjunction with their intent or irrespective of their intent, right? Just as long as they share similar attributes and they have a high probability of clicking on our ad based on their behaviors and their web kind of activity, okay? So it's extremely powerful. And again, they can search something on Google, then watch a video related to the keywords, and then our ad shows at the perfect time, and then boom, we convert them, okay? And I want you to understand that YouTube is built for scale, okay? So YouTube has huge audiences, right? And again, one of the guys that I learned this from was spending $30,000 to $40,000 a day with YouTube ads. And some of the keywords he was spending like $3,000 a day on, whereas he had sometimes no targeting on at all. He just had zero targeting, just broad audience, or you just target like one massive keyword, right? Like make money online or something like that. But he was in a different niche. He was like more, he had like a massive home service business that was like selling like roofing, all these different types of services. So he's spending a lot of money on that. And basically he was just targeting very, very broad audiences. Okay. So it's faster scaling because of the large audiences. So you can ramp up really quick and spend more and more money on the campaigns. So you can scale really fast. Okay. And also ads work for longer. So less ad fatigue. I've had one ad running for like 4 months now. And it just keeps working, keeps producing. So once you get a good ad, you can just let it run. Right. And then you don't have to like change the copy. Sometimes with Facebook and all these other platforms, you got to constantly feed it with like more ads. Still got to do that with YouTube, but it's less frequent because you can have ads that work way longer. You can have them running for like a year and they just keep producing, right? And so now I want to tell you again, a little bit of a story on basically what I learned and how I learned YouTube ads from this guy spending $30,000 a day on YouTube ads. So again, we used to spend a lot of money on Facebook ads. So back in December 2020, everything was gravy, everything was good. And then randomly, boom, Facebook, one, disabled my fan page for no reason. I had to obviously fix my fan page. Then randomly, they disabled our ad account for absolutely no reason. I spent over 1.4 million on ads on Facebook. And although 40% of our sales were coming from outbound using organic channels, our email list, etc., we obviously still took a dip, right? So we had to move fast, and I had to figure out, okay, well, what's another platform that we can use and how can we scale? So I'm in a very large mastermind that I spend $50,000 a year on. And one of the members in there, again, this guy's spending $30,000, $40,000 a day on YouTube ads. I reached out to him, and since I'm a part of the mastermind, and that's what the power of these masterminds are. You get in just a group of like very, very high level people. Like, I don't know anybody else that's spending $30,000, $40,000 a day on YouTube ads that I could have reached out to, right? This guy, I'm in a mastermind. I pay to get access to this information, and also the people in there that are very, very high level. And I was able to connect with him. We hopped on a Zoom call for an hour. I went through, he showed me how to do it, and I literally had my ads up and running within a week. And obviously I asked him questions along the way and, tweaking different things. But he taught me some just extremely valuable things in conjunction with like obviously how to run the ads, which I'm going to show you guys how to do, and how the campaign structured, everything like that. But he taught me some very, very valuable things that made me just view like media buying and just like ads and marketing in a different light. So some things that I learned is that simple scales. Okay. So you want to keep things extremely, extremely simple and remove all complexity. Right? That's why you don't want to have 10 different offers. You don't want to target 5 different niches, right? You want to be laser focused, and you want to keep things very, very simple. And then also in terms of the structure of your campaigns, you want to keep them very, very simple. So I used to have like, because how I used to do it on Facebook was I'd have a campaign, then I'd have like 4 different ad sets with like 5 different ads inside of each ad set. And it was kind of complex, right? Here he was saying, let's just have one campaign with one keyword or audience and one ad. Simple, right? And so I started to do that, and I immediately started seeing traction because I was trying to figure this out on my own. I had the campaign structure all went messed up, and it wasn't really working for the first like couple of days, first week. And so I talked to him. He's like, no, man, you just need to do one campaign, one keyword, one ad, and you can scale that rate up. He's like, I spend like $4,000 or $5,000 a day just on one ad like that. So that's how you can like really scale. And so simple scales, okay? And then he talked about the 80-20 of the 80-20. So 80% of your results will come from the ad itself. Okay, and 80% of your results from the ad will come from the first 5 seconds, but to 30 seconds of the ad. Really, it's that first 5 seconds where like, when you can skip the ad, that's when you need to capture the attention, and that's when you need to suck them in and show them what the benefit of them watching the video, and then ultimately getting them to click on the ad and convert, right? So basically the 80-20 to 80-20. So that first 5 seconds, that's really where like you want to focus all of your attention on the ads, not this, going into dashboards and all this stuff, which the technology and like the different buttons, like those honestly don't really mean anything, right? I mean, as long as you have a good ad and you could just put some targeting on it, it should perform really well, okay? And again, you want to put all of your focus on making great ads. And also the 80-20 is on a great product and service. Because if you have really great results and client results, then you're obviously going to be able to scale very, very fast. And you're going to be able to get more clients because you have more social proof and you have a great program that people are obviously getting results with, right? And then you talked about this, which this is a huge, huge, huge one, right? Focusing on the aggregate, okay? And this is how you can think about this in terms of any type of marketing or even your business in general, okay? And what I mean by focusing on the aggregate is you want to focus on the whole rather than the individual parts, right? So many people are fixated on like, oh, like my conversion rate here, or I'm not getting enough leads here, right? And they focus on these things here, right? When really you want to take a broader perspective and focus on the aggregate, because the ads alone is not what really produces the ROI. Obviously, a really great ad can just absolutely crush it and produce you a lot of revenue in cash and again, ROI and profits. But it's the collective, like what I call ecosystem that you build around it, right? And you want to look at the amount of sales, cash that you're generating and collecting at a company level, not just on individual campaigns. When so many people just zoom in on the one campaign, they look at things too granular, when you need to have like a broader perspective and look at like, okay, is your business growing if you're spending more money on ads? And are you generating more profits? And is your bottom line growing, right? If so, then keep spending money on ads, spend more, right? Because it may not make sense on like a campaign level, but then again, they may go find you on YouTube. They may go, search you on LinkedIn. They may go search you on Facebook. They may search you on Google. And next thing you know, you're getting clients that way as well, indirectly. And again, it's this ecosystem. And I'm going to show you how the next thing is this ecosystem, how we can capture all of these people and then bring them into your world and get them onto a phone call, getting them onto those booked appointments with you. And again, helping you build this sales team, which we'll talk about, and then getting them on the phone and then converting them, right? So it's this ecosystem we build. And so many people are focused on like being in the campaign levels and being in the ad platforms, when really it's the actual ecosystem. So let me explain what I mean by this. So let me zoom in here. So here's the ecosystem and here's our YouTube ads ecosystem and how we basically leverage a commission-based sales team and how you can scale this to 7, 8, and 8 figures. Okay, so this is the ecosystem that we've kind of basically built out. So for here, we have the basically the funnel. So we have the YouTube ad, we have the VSL opt-in, and I'm going to show you this funnel in a second. But we have the opt-in, right? So that we drive them to a page where they can get their name, email, you can get also their phone number, right? And then immediately upon opting in, they get put into an email automation sequence, right? And this has contingencies. So based on where they're at and what actions they've taken so far, if they've watched the video or if they clicked on a call to action, then we can follow up with them based on that. But if they haven't, right, then we kind of direct them to going and booking a call, right, with our inbound closer advisors that are going to take the call and enroll them, right, or with yourself if you're the one doing the calls, right? And then you also have outbound appointment setters. So again, they can also be doing outbound. So like going into your CRM, calling your leads, and we're going to talk about this as well, and doing LinkedIn, doing all these other channels, right? But simultaneously, so when they opt in, they're also going to get into your database, and then your appointment setter can follow up with them, right? And book them in and basically set them with you and your team, right? So you can also have, this is what I call active follow-up. So this is the funnel, right? So you have a little key here. So you have the YouTube ads in the funnel. Then you have active follow-up. So immediately we're following up with them, trying to get them on the call, right? Because now they're a lead. They show interest. They show intent, like I was talking about. And now it's time to direct them and see how we can help them. And if we can even help them, and then see if it's a good fit for us to enroll them as a client and help them scale their business, right? Or whatever you have to offer. And then we have here is retargeting and nurturing. So again, this is the ecosystem. So if they watch our ad, but they don't click on it, then we're going to retarget them and either get them back to go to the opt-in and try to opt in and watch the video, or we're going to drive them to the calendar if they've already opted in, right? So we're basically going to retarget them through YouTube ads, right? So if they click on the ad and they don't opt in, we retarget them again. If they click on the ad, they opt in, but they don't book a call, then we retarget them again. Or if they're now on our email list, we retarget them there as well. We also put them through Google Display Network, right? GDN. And this is where they basically see banner ads. We can, follow them around on Forbes, on these different sites, right? And if they click on one of those ads, it directs them back to the calendar to book a call. And then again, ultimately our goal is to get them on the call in the calendar and enroll as a client, right? So we do that. And then also search. So if they go on Google and they search us, you can also create these search ads, which I'll show you, and basically direct them to the calendar as well. And so we also have email blasts. So a lot of you probably that joined this webinar came from our email list, right? So you're on our email list. You can do promotions to your email list. You can also direct them to book your call on your email list. You can do if you have a YouTube channel, which I recommend, we're going to talk about this, you're going to be retargeting them and directing them to book a call, right? Or they're just going to find you and then somehow book a call with you, right? Go back to your site, book a call. But again, this is where we're creating the ecosystem, because once they see an ad, they may go and, now they're seeing you on other channels, right? Now they're going to go search with you on Google or YouTube, and they opt into your email list. Now we're nurturing them, we're following up. And our goal is to ultimately see if we can help them and enroll them as a client and help them in whatever capacity you offer, right? So this is really where the ecosystem comes into play, because again, if you were just to run this process here with a YouTube ad, VSL, you may break even. You may even be at a loss on the front end, right? Potentially, unless you have like a really high ticket offer, you can make this profitable. But it's really when you add these additional steps is when you can get some really, really, really good results. And just to show you, so I'll show you some, the back end of our actual tracking sheet here, and I'll show you this later on as well. But you can see here, we're generating about 150K a month in revenue. Here, let me just hide these. 150K a month in revenue, 123,000 in cash, and you can see here cash profit, $90,000 in cash profit, and you can see here 450% ROI on revenue and 360% ROI on cash. And again, we'll go through these numbers in a second, and I'll show you exactly how these all break down. But you can see here, very, very profitable when you do all of these in conjunction with the YouTube. Okay, so it works really, really effective when you have all these things in play. Okay. And obviously I show you that to show you that this is legit and that you can actually do this. And it's just not a fluke situation, because we've done this month over month. Okay. So here's how we cross-pollinate the YouTube ads, outbound and organic channels to create a highly profitable omnipresent marketing machine. Okay. So again, you want to create an ecosystem and you want to start cross-pollinating these different channels, right? And basically it's critical to do this, because in order for this to produce results and become highly profitable, right, you need to have a multi-channel approach, and you need to like kind of have an omnipresent approach where someone gets exposed to your ads, right, or finds you organically. Now they're spun in like a web. You think about it literally as you're on the internet, like you're on the web, right? And they'll continue to see on multiple places until they book a call and ultimately become a client, okay? And you become omnipresent, right? You become everywhere and nowhere at the same time. Okay, so it's very, very powerful. And for here, you need to understand like user behavior. So like when someone sees an ad, right, they're probably or sees your funnel, they're probably going to go and maybe search you on YouTube or Google, or they're going to try and look for you in other places. They may go see you on LinkedIn. They may go just search for you, right? And then now they're in another realm. Now they're in another channel that you can then, you have that set up strategically so that they fall back into your pipeline, right? And you can also target them and retarget them and rank your keywords for your niche, your company, your brand, etc. on YouTube, which we'll talk about on these different channels. And on YouTube, again, YouTube organic and YouTube ads play really, really well. And I'm very bullish on this, as you can tell, because they work really, really well together. And plus video, it's just a really great way to nurture your prospects. And again, once they watch a video, you can also retarget them on an ad that watch your videos as well. And again, the key is to just brand yourself on YouTube and also nurture in conjunction with the ads, okay? So you need to nurture people. You need to start to put out some content over time as well. You don't want to be like content obsessed, but you need to have some content that's methodically and thought out and strategically placed and created that, handles some of their objections, gives them some value up front, shows them some interviews and client case studies so that they become versed and you're a person of value that they want to do business with. In exchange, they're going to become a client. Okay. And there's a big thing under the iceberg, which is long-term following and the database growth. Okay. And so with this, I'll show you, you can build a database, and this is our CRM with 100,000 leads. Okay. So over time, this is what's going to be an asset for you guys, is building a really large database where, again, you can follow up with them. You can send emails. You can, again, have this ecosystem where you have a lot of leads that you can funnel into your calendar and ultimately enroll them as a client. Okay. And so let's talk about the YouTube ads and VSL funnel. So again, we run simple YouTube ads to a simple VSL funnel. So I'll show you this. It's basically just a simple landing page. That's all it is. And they opt in, right? So name, email, you can even collect their phone number, which we're going to be doing shortly as well, is adding the phone number to this. We have a retargeting funnel that we use, which we collect their phone number from. But here we collect their name and email, and then they put on our email list, okay? And then once they opt in here, they go to a video, right? The video basically is about 40 minutes.
Google Ads, and you have to start,
right? Gives them case studies, shows client case studies, gives them a bunch of value, right? And then it's a button for them to book a call and apply to get on a call with you guys, right? So again, this is where you have the YouTube ad drives into the opt-in VSL video page and then to a calendar and application. And then you have a success page, which gives them more case studies, just tells them what to do to prepare for the call. And that's it. Okay. Very, very simple. It's about 20 to 40-minute video. I will tell you this though, getting this video just really dialed in is not easy, but it's not impossible to like make it convert really well. A lot of people have like VSLs and they, webinars and all this stuff, but the VSL I found converts better than anything. And you have to get a really good framework for that. And you have to have your messaging razor sharp. And that's what I talk about in another video, where you have like all the sales calls that you're generating. You have notes from all the calls you have, and you're basically transcribing and taking all of this information that you have from previous sales calls, from interviews with your clients, or just interviewing your clients, taking all that information, and then you can package that into a video that handles all objections. It gives them some value, shows them exactly what they want. And the resonance is going to be like, this video was made for me. When you have it to that level, it's just going to convert and you're going to be able to scale massively. Okay. Again, then we have active follow-up. So we have email automations going out, right? So upon opting in, we send them through email automation sequence and contingencies based on the actions they take or don't take. And then we direct them to book a call and fill out an application, right? And then also we have outbound appointment setters and SDRs. So we have sales development reps who follow up with the opt-ins and then set them for a call with one of our advisors, right? So they go into our CRM. We have different, basically, you could call like hot, warm, cold. We have different lists that we have. So we have outbound prospects, inbound prospects, interested prospects, right? And all these different lists here in our CRM as well, which if you're a client, we'll show you how to set that up. And they also follow up with people who don't close. So they get on a call that they don't close. They don't show warm leads, etc. So they can bring them back onto the calendar and see if we can help them and enroll them as a client, right? Then we have retargeting, so email blasts. So we have case studies, nurture emails, value content, send them email when we release a new blog. So whenever we post a video on YouTube, we then take that, put it in our email, and we blast it to our list, and then we drive them. They also put it on our website as well. And again, this is just all in conjunction with the nurturing aspect of things, right? Because once we send them to the YouTube video, in the YouTube video, they watch the YouTube, we can retarget them there as well, or they get into the description and they can book a call that way as well. So again, it's an ecosystem, and that's why I'm talking about you want to look at the aggregate rather than just ads. It's not just ads that get the stuff to work really effectively. It's the collective whole, okay? And so here we also run, again, retargeting ads. So just simple hot and warm retargeting ads on Google Display Network and YouTube with case studies, right? And then we also have search that direct them to book a call in the calendar. And we also direct them to, I created basically a demo case study funnel here as well. So it's basically we retarget them here. So if they opt in and they don't book a call, right? We direct them here, which is another video that basically gives them a kind of irresistible offer, right? and it tells them to book a demo. So it's a shorter video that just shows case studies. It shows like actually inside of our system, right? And then directs them to book a call. And then we literally just have results going for ages, right? We just have so much results that are here. So they can like pre-sell themselves and see like, okay, this is the results we get for our clients. We have other content linked here. And then ultimately they can book a call, some FAQs as well. And again, this is for nurturing and retargeting them so that we can handle their objections and then get them onto a call. Okay. And then again, we have a YouTube channel. So we release about 1 to 2. I try to do 1 to 2 a week. And we basically put valuable content, interviews, trainings, and we share it to LinkedIn and Facebook as well. Again, this is what's called cross-pollinating different channels. And we retarget all YouTube viewers as well. So anyone that's viewed our YouTube video, we retarget them as well and drive them back to the VSL or to our retargeting funnel. And then you can see here, we also have links in the YouTube videos to direct them to book. In this video, I'm going to show you. So here in the description, we have book your demo, and then it takes them to the demo funnel, right? So very, very effective in terms of like, again, nurturing, following up. And then obviously they can interact. You like 600 views on the video. These are all potential clients, right? They're like, I love your content. This is awesome. So like, it just nurtures your prospects as well. Okay. So that is the YouTube channel and getting everything dialed in there. And then we also have the closing. So this is where we have commission-based sales reps, right? And closers who take the inbound calls, right? So they take the inbound calls and we basically fill their calendar with qualified appointments, right? So I can show you our calendar here. So we have a couple of salespeople where we fill their calendar from the inbound leads, right? We also have some outbound stuff as well, and the SDRs going in and filling their calendar, but we have calendars where we're basically filling the prospects or filling our inbound closers with these inbound leads, okay? And that's how you can really scale, right? Because the highest value activity that you can be on or your sales team can be on is on a qualified appointment with someone, like qualified appointment, right? That's all you should be focused on, is getting and keeping those calls coming in, getting inbound, or even just set from your team, and then you can enroll them into a client, okay? And you want to just have full calendars. That's the key to this, okay? And so, again, I just want to show you a little bit more details on how to structure campaigns. So, like, let's get into, like, actually, like, how do you do the YouTube ads type thing? So here's the simple structure that we use. So, again, one campaign, one keyword, one ad group, one ad. That's it, okay? And for your first campaign, you just want to optimize for leads. So 20 to 30 day a budget, right? $20 to $30 a day per campaign, or audience, what we call them, because you want to have, this is like the audience, one keyword. Keywords are good to start out with. I'll show you how we can do like additional targeting as well, where like custom audiences. But this is where you want to start, is just using keyword campaigns. And you want it, and the in-stream skippable video ads are your workhorse. So the ones that say, you know, first 5 seconds, skip this ad. Those are your workhorse, okay? And maximize conversions. So those work really well. And then you can move to like target CPA. So you can say, okay, I want leads for $20, for example, or $15. You can actually set the target CPA, and it'll kind of give you better costs over time. We use target CPA now, and usually you do this when you have about 200 leads, about 100, 200 conversions, and then you can move to that. But maximize conversions is going to maximize the amount of people that are coming in, and then obviously converting into a lead, okay? And then keywords, you want to take about 8 to 30 keywords depending on your budget, and you want to basically run them. You can even do less. You could do less keywords, like 4 or 5, like say 5 keywords, and you can run them at like $20 a day. So you're running like $100 a day on ads. I wouldn't really recommend anything less than that. And you just want to think about like, what would an ideal client be searching for, right? What interests do they have? What problems they want to solve? What results they want to achieve? You can use Google's keyword planner, which I'll show you this, or you can also use and search keywords in YouTube using this thing called TubeBuddy. And again, 1 keyword per campaign, and you want it to be about 100K to 1 million impressions, and 1 ad per campaign. So I'll just show you what this looks like. And again, I'll show you the numbers behind this and understanding the different metrics, but inside of our account, you can see here. So what you do is you just, I mean, obviously you got to structure the actual campaign and all that stuff. We're not going to talk about like campaign setup or like account setup, because it's fairly simple to do. You can just set up your account here. But how you create a campaign is once you have the account, you go here to this plus sign, you go create new campaign. And again, we're going to optimize for leads, right? You go video. We're going to go next. And then from here's where we create the actual campaign. Again, I'm going to show you how to create the actual video ads because that's the most important part. But just to like show you how to do this, you basically just create it, whatever it's called. Like you can call it VSL. And then I typically go keyword and I put the keyword in here, right? Put keyword. And then you structure it like this. And then you put the ad. So whatever the ad name is, whatever you want to name the ad, right? And then here, you're going to go, you can do maximize conversions. We use target CPA now, but you can use maximize conversions. You just do like $20, right? And then for here, you just want to do YouTube videos, right? Target whatever countries you're targeting, target English. And then you can either do standard inventory, expanded inventory. We typically use expanded inventory. And then you want to uncheck this. And for devices, you just want to show on mobile phones and computers for now. And then here, you would just you can grab the same name up here, right? Whatever the name is. Obviously, you'd put the naming convention in there as well. And then here, you just put the keywords. So you're going to do keyword targeting. And I recommend just using one keyword per campaign. So for example, let's say I wanted to use, I don't know, example like LinkedIn marketing or something like that. And you can see here on the side, it's going to give you how many impressions they have and see 530,000 impressions. So that's not a bad keyword. I mean, I may probably already targeted it, but it's, you're going to use like this. Again, over 100K is good. Under 100K, it's maybe not going to serve as many actual impressions and you're not going to get as many clicks on that as well. So you definitely want to have about 100 to a million, 100K to a million. And that's a pretty good size for the campaigns. And again, you just want to have one keyword, one campaign, one ad group. That's it, right? And then from here, you would just go to your ad. You'd paste in the URL for one of your ads, right? And then you'd create the actual the headline, everything like that, which is very, very simple, right? But again, the bulk of it is actually in the ad itself, and creating the campaigns is very, very simple, right? And then let's talk about like understanding the metrics, because again, this is also super, super important. You can see how I was tracking everything. I'm going to show you my account as well and actually what we're doing with it. But click-through rate is basically how good your ad is and how much resonance and how much your message actually resonates with the market, right? So the higher the click-through rate, typically the better your message is, right? Because the higher click-through rate and people are more intrigued, they're clicking on your ad, which is what we want, right? We want traffic to our site. CPM is basically cost per 1,000 impressions. It helps you track the market competition and cost and getting in front of your audience. So high ticket can be higher and you can still get a good ROI, right? Like our CPM is pretty high, but we still get a really good ROI. So I don't really care about that. I look at all the numbers in conjunction and I don't isolate them. This is why I'm talking about the aggregate. And as long as we're getting a good ROI, I don't care, right? And then landing page conversion rate, you want about minimum 15 to 30%. VSL conversion rate, so that video, how it's converting, about 5 to 10%. And again, when optimizing, you're looking at all of these in relation to each other and tracking the trends and how you can tweak one thing to actually produce an outsized return and which levers you need to pull, okay? And again, paid ads is a holistic effort, okay? And so when analyzing the campaigns, we let it run for about 3 to 7 days. If the CTR is above 1%, then it's good. If it's about 1.5 to 2.5%, it's really good. And we look at, again, landing page conversion rate, cost per lead, VCR, and then cost per strategy session or booked call, right? And so when I'm actually in my campaigns, if we just get out of this for a second, when I look at my campaigns, I don't really look at these numbers. Like you can see here, like $400 a call, $800 a call, $600 a call. Like it says this inside of the actual backend, right? But I don't even really spend a lot of time inside of Google Ads Manager. I look at the spreadsheet. So I'm taking these metrics here, like how much I'm spending, how much impressions, what the click-through rate is, right? 1.7%, how many clicks I'm getting, right? I look at all of these things in conjunction with the actual, and you can see here how many leads are getting. And you can see here, average CPM is $80, which is high. It should be around like 40 typically. But I don't really care because I'm getting a good ROI. And you can see here, I'll just show you these numbers if we zoom out a bit. Let me show you this. Let's zoom out. So you can see here, in June, we spent 34,000, right? And you can see here, average CPM is $76. CTR is 1%, right? Landing page conversion rate, 20%. It's not bad, pretty good. It should be about 15 to 30%. And then we got 104 booked calls, right? VCR, what it's converting at is about 10%, which is good. And then for the cost per call, you can see here is $329, right? Inside of my ads manager, it may say like $600, but I'm looking at the aggregate and I'm looking at it from like the source. So I don't go into Google Ads. I go into, okay, how many calls did we actually get? How many leads did we actually get, right? And I look at from our actual backend CRM. I look at from where our calls are getting booked in from, and I'm entering them in on like how we're getting the calls booked. And then calls taken are obviously how many calls we've taken. So about 53% show up rate, which is decent. It's kind of low. And again, these numbers are like not even as good as they can be. Like you guys, some of you guys in some of the niches you guys are in could probably get way better numbers than me. But you can see here that I'm converting at 49%. So I got 55 calls and I'm converting 27 of those into clients. And this is with one closer, by the way. This is one closer. That's it, right? Selling $150,000 a month and doing 123 cash and about 90,000 profit. Okay. CPA is $1,200. So that's our cost to acquire a customer. And you can see here 450% ROI, 361% cash ROI, and our average day one cash. So how much we're collecting on day one is 4,500 or basically 4,600. Right? Because we have a high ticket offer and based on like the payment plans and stuff, that's our average day one cash. So very, very good. And again, this is one person. This is one sales rep. Okay. And then we'll go to July. So we spent a little bit more, 40,000. And again, our CTR went up to 1.72, which is good. I think I released some new ads. And then landing page is 15%, which again, it's fairly low, right? Cost per click is kind of high, right? Cost per lead is $30 a lead. Kind of high. So I've seen some people get $15 leads, right? But I'm looking at the cash ROI and what we're actually producing as a whole. Okay. And again, this is in conjunction with everything else we're doing. 116 calls booked, 63 taken, 54% show up rate. And you can see here $350 a call. Again, some people would say that's kind of high. Could we get it down? Sure. But I'm converting 40% of those people, right? So again, my message is resonating with the market, right? Because I have a good ad, I have good video, I have good conversion so that when they get on the phone, we're converting them at 40%, right? You see here 142K in rev, 122 in cash. And again, this is just YouTube ads. This isn't our entire business, right? So this is just YouTube ads alone, okay? $1,500 in CPA, $100,000 in revenue cash. So this is like based on the future, like the revenue that we generated, so accounts receivable, and 82,000 profit in cash that we made, right? And you can see here 350% ROI, 300% ROI on cash. Okay, so we put in 40,000 and we got back 122,000. Not bad if you ask me. And so again, you could just keep spending this. And again, this is one sales rep, one salesperson. Okay. And again, you can ramp this up really, really like a lot once you have more salespeople. And also once you have this thing dialed right in, okay? So I just wanted to show you the numbers, be transparent. And again, for high ticket offers, so if you're selling a little bit more high ticket offers, so like something that's like $3,000 to $30,000, cheap cost per leads does not mean it'll convert. People always are like, oh, well, I'm getting like $5 leads. I'm like, okay, I'm spending $30 and getting 400% ROI. I don't really care, right? So it doesn't really matter as long as you're extremely profitable. Could we make it a little bit more profitable? Sure. And that's all about like tweaking and refining the funnel until it's tuned and it's getting really, really good ROIs and for a good cost as well, right? And again, you want to first optimize for leads and then you can optimize later on for like booked calls. And again, we typically give about 25 to 30% higher cost per lead allowance with like higher intent audiences. So some of my audiences here you can see are like how to get clients, right? I'm okay with spending $33 on that, $37. I'm okay with spending that, right? LinkedIn lead generation. I'm okay with that because it consistently produces calls, right? And they consistently close, right? So I'd rather spend I'd rather spend $1,000 per call where 100% of them actually close rather than spending, say $50 a call when none of them close. Okay. And again, with enough data, you can, see which ones are for book calls. And for scaling, so if you're spending under $1,000 a day, typically we just increase about 20% a day as long as the performance is good. If its performance is good, I'll keep spending and increasing the spend. For anything less than $1,000 a day, I'll increase about 20% in most days, but a little bit more conservative, wait a few days, then increase again, maybe 10%. Just again, depending on your budget and everything, because as you scale, you're going to generate more revenue, more cash, and you can scale up, right? And again, increasing it more than 20% will throw your campaigns into what's called like learning mode, and they'll just throw off your campaigns, okay? And vertical scaling. So vertical scaling is basically when you just increase the budget, right? Simple as that. Just spend more, right? And typically we do that. Works really, really well in YouTube. And we typically do that, but not past like $300 a day per campaign. Some of our campaigns are spending like $180. I could increase the budget, but anything more than like I found $250 starts to like not perform as well. So I keep them and I have multiple campaigns at $180. And so I can scale more. And this is what's called horizontally scaling. So basically new audiences or duplicating existing winners. So if I had one that's producing really well, I'll just duplicate it and spend, $200 a day on each campaign and have like 5 of them spending $1,000 a day, right? Again, for less aggressive, for new campaigns, we'll probably do about $50 to $100 a day. And if we're more aggressive, if we want to start new campaigns at like $200 or $500 a day, I would even say about $300 because anything more than that I found just doesn't like hold up, and you can really scale really fast. Okay. And just some additional notes, like understand YouTube, you have to have laser tight targeting and know your ideal client. Okay. You have to really know who your ideal client is and speak directly to them to get this to work really well. Okay. And you want to go to extreme targeting or extreme broad. So with YouTube, you want to go either extremely targeted in terms of like who you're actually reaching out to, what this client looks like, or you want to go extremely broad and just target really broad keywords. And then you can just, spend a lot of money on those, right? But you don't want to play in the middle ground and you don't want to be like too in the middle because you want to be able to go very, very specific. And that's what's going to convert really well. And this is a huge point this is with anything. You want to focus on one niche, one offer with one funnel and optimize that to the 0.0001 degree. Right? You want to go extreme on getting this tuned. Like, again, even for our funnel and our niche and what we offer, I could tune this even way further, right? I can do some like campaign or some conversion rate optimization and tweak the landing page. I can get that up. I can tweak these numbers to they get even better and better ROI, right? But once it's tuned, you want to just go and you want to tweak those things until it gets performing even better. Right. And then you can also start uploading YouTube videos. Again, just do one a week is fine. And then you can retarget those people who watch your videos. Right. So again, you could spend about $100 to $500 a day to start. I would start at like $100 a day and you can scale up from there. Right. And again, depending on your niche and everything, depending on how much it costs to actually get an appointment, you're going to want to spend a little bit more. Right. Again, mid-tier scaling about 300 to 800 and then 800 to 2000 plus. We spend about $2,000 a day right now. And we've just hired a couple more salespeople, so we're about to ramp that rate up. So that's kind of how you want to kind of look at the scaling aspect. And then tracking the numbers is extremely vital. Again, I use this tracking sheet every day. I'm putting the numbers in and I'm looking at it daily. Okay, I'm looking at the campaigns, but I'm also taking all of the data and looking at from the source what actually happened. Okay, very, very key. If you don't have this tuned, then it's not gonna work as well. Okay. You need to know the numbers. Okay. And so has this been valuable for everyone so far? Watching live has been valuable so far? Post in the chat. Awesome. Hell yeah. Cool. Well, we're about to go in some really ninja stuff here. So now we can talk about how to script and create highly profitable YouTube ads in 24 hours or less. Okay. So the 80-20 of the 80-20, again, 80% of your results will come from the ad itself and 80% of the results will come for the first 5 to 30 seconds. And you want to put all of your emphasis on making great ads, right? And obviously great product and a great service. But if you want to get clients, obviously put it on great ads, you can start getting clients really, really fast. Okay. So again, simple direct ads trump fancy high production ads. Okay. I've seen this. You do not need to be fancy. Like some ads you think are like, they work really well. They totally bomb. Some of them just filmed in an iPhone, absolutely crush. Okay. So I've had high production videos created and I've had simple direct ads shot on my webcam with slides and it outperforms. Okay. Yeah, they work, right? And you can scale them and they do work, but the ones with a great message and great script behind it and great funnel, you'll be able to crush. Okay. So I'll just want to show you one of my best performing ads. And you've probably seen this. Hopefully there's not an ad playing on the ad. But there is. So this ad here, which will, maybe you guys can hear it, but I'll just play like the first like 10 seconds. If you're a coach, consultant, or agency owner and your calendar looks like this, I'll show you to get your calendar to look like this, or you don't pay. No, seriously. See, first 5 seconds, I'm polarizing them. If your calendar looks like this, and you want your calendar looking like this, I'll show you how to do that, or you don't pay. And the reason why I say that is because we have like a bold offer, right? That also basically, we offer a guarantee on one of our core products, right? So I'm able to say that and then intrigue them, then I show them results. In this system, he's now getting 8 appointments a day and scaled his consulting business from $2,000 a month to $90,000 a month within 6 months without paid advertising. Or Ro, who generates 120 to 200 sales appointments per month for his marketing agency. And all these, you see here, I'm showing results and I'm showing based on what they want. They want to scale their business to 100K a month. And they also want to get packed appointments or packed calendars with appointments. I know my market really well, and then I'm showing them more results, and I'm giving them a call to action to book a call, right? So this one works really, really well. And the script for that, and we'll go into that. But you can see here, I'm using literally the same webcam that I'm recording this webinar on, and I'm using slides, and I'm just using overlays, right? I'm just using slide overlays, right? And that's it. Like nothing fancy. Right? This was just literally a screenshot of a blank calendar with a sad face, right? Nothing fancy, right? But it's all about the script, okay? It's all about the script. And then here's an ad that is high production. I was working 80 hours a week in my high-ticket consultancy, and I listened to Elon Musk, who said
80 to 100-hour weeks every week.
And I went mayhem. I was cold calling, cold emailing, doing LinkedIn outreach, posting content, minding Facebook groups, and I was doing all the client service. Here, it's good ad, and it worked really well. It has like 300,000 views, right? But it did convert, but not as well as this one. This one just converts really, really well. It's super profitable. And again, that's where it's not just about the ad, it's about the message behind the ad, okay? So all you need is a great script, a great ad, and the bare necessity. So again, you just need to have a camera so you can use your iPhone or webcam, right? It doesn't really matter. And you need slides, so either images or video overlays, very, very simple to do, and an editing software, right? Camtasia or something like this. Or you can hire someone good on Upwork to edit it for you. Or you can ask a friend, right? Or a brother or sister, right? It just needs to be, just the structure of the ad is the most important thing and what you're saying in the ad. The ad itself doesn't really matter in terms of the visuals. Good editing, though, I can tell you can keep people's attention, but it's not the main thing. So let's talk about the winning 7-figure YouTube ad script, okay? So you want to create a high-level promise and avoid the technical jargon, okay? You want to be direct and you want to show the easy path or sell the easy way, and then obviously deliver that reality through your product and service, right? But in short, you want to show how they can get all the things they want without all the things they hate, okay? As you saw in one of my videos or one of my ads, I say, here's how to get packed calendars without having to do, cold calling, all that stuff, like posting content, all that, right? And I'm telling them how they can get what they want without all the things they hate. So the first 5 seconds, you must nail this, okay? You must state the big promise or hook, right? In relevance to what your niche wants. So I have different hooks that we use, and you can see that one was what I call the polarity, right? So you're basically showing them, here's your calendar and here's before and after, right? Here's your calendar before, here's what your calendar is going to look after. Or if you want this, right, then this is what we can help you do, right? So it's a strong hook, and I know what they want. And again, that's a hook that I'll give you hooks. Again, if you guys stay to the end, I'm going to give you the script, and I'm also going to give you about 7 or 8 hooks that you can use, okay? But here I'm just going to cover the framework and script, okay? So what you want to do is you want to state what your ad is about and appeal to only those interested. You can see in my ad, I said, are you coach, consultant, marketing agency owner, right? And everyone that isn't that is going to get off the ad. And that's our goal. We want to get everyone who isn't a fit to get off our ad. If you're just going and you're putting out like attention grabbing things or attention seeking, then you're just going to pull in the people that you don't want. Okay. Curiosity or statement. You want to call the audience. You want to hook in who you want, be relevant to them, sell a desired promise with what they want and without all the things they hate or that cause them pain or frustration, right? Then you want to state the promise as like a new opportunity. You want to use language that separates your offer. So new, different. You want to be contrarian, right? Maybe be the polar opposite, what everyone else is saying, right? And you want to extract your audience and get everyone, again, who isn't a good fit off your ads, right? So example, do you run ads? If so, this should terrify you, right? Or do you run ads on Facebook? Well, did Facebook ban your account? Or are you afraid that Facebook's going to ban your account? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you how to use YouTube ads to scale to 7-8 figures, right? So you can hit them immediately. So anyone that runs Facebook ads is going to be a potential client, or that's who your niche is. Or if you could say something like, are you an investor, right? If so, then this should terrify you, or, something like that. And again, I have different hooks you can use, but you're going to call out the person immediately, or again, use one of those hooks that suck them in and call out your niche in relevance to what they want right off the bat. Okay. And then about 5 to 30 seconds, you want to tell a story fulfilling a promise, or you want to show how the promise is completed. So you see in both of my ads, I showed that results of clients immediately. I showed Ramsey, I showed Rowe, and I showed a bunch of other case studies, right? So I'm showing them that this is the massive gain that they can get from it. And I'm showing them how it's been essentially been accomplished through what I'm helping them with in my offer. And basically when they click on the ad, this is what's going to help them do: pack their calendar, get qualified appointments, etc. Right? You can tell a story how your business or how a client went from X, right? Here's how Ramsey went from this to this, right? And I'm showing it like $2,000 a month or whatever to $90,000 a month in 6 months. So I'm showing them this massive transformation, and that's what you're selling them ultimately, is the transformation, right? And you want to give results, proof, stats, that you've seen or obviously delivered for other people, right? That's the first 30 seconds. And then here you want to give them a call to action. So click on this ad. It's going to take you to a page and you want to tell them what to do. Okay. So I've tried to just say, click on the ad and it's going to show you how to do this. But when you tell them exactly what they need to do next, it kind of pre-frames so that when they do that, they're going to take that action. So click on the ad. It's going to take you to a page you can opt in where you can access the video that's going to show you XYZ and how to do XYZ, right? And then another 30 seconds, you want to do more benefits and withouts and more results. So what's the benefit? What's in it for them on how they can actually solve this problem or get this result without, again, all those things that they don't want to do. They don't want to post content. They want whatever your niche doesn't want, right? Without, having to trade stocks all day or something like that, right? Whatever it is that you sell, you need to show them that they can achieve this without all the things that frustrate them or that they've tried in the past. Okay. More results, more people, right? And then again, call to action. If you click this ad, it's going to show you this, right? Just like this person, just like so-and-so. And again, you're going to show them results, and they're going to get another call to action. And then you're going to go into about 30 seconds. You can add results at the end of the video and then have like a 30-second end screen where it's just results or a call to action to get them to click on the ad. So you want to give them time to be able to click. You don't want to just end the ad abruptly. You want to give about 30 seconds, just sit there and let them contemplate what they just watched and get them to click on the ad. Give them a call to action to click on the ad, right? And you want to tell them like either click on the bottom left or the top right on mobile, right? Tell them exactly what they need to do. And that's essentially the script. But the first, I'd say 5 seconds is the most important piece, right? So having the hook, pulling them in, stating the big promise, stating what they want, and then hooking them in. This is the most important piece, because once it's past this, then you can start to hook them in more, keeping their attention by a story or, again, some results that you've seen. And this was going to show them like, this is what I want. And then boom, okay, well, if you want this, click on the ad, right? And we're pretty direct. Okay, just straight shooting them. And here's how we can help you solve this problem, get this result, right? And that is essentially the script. Again, I will share with you this script and I'll also give you about 7 hooks. If you want that, post in the chat 7 hooks and I'll give that to you at the end and I'll show you how you can get that. But post in the chat 7 hooks And I'll also link those as well, so you can have the script with the hook so you can create those as well. Awesome. Awesome. Let's go. Perfect. So now let's talk about this, because this is a massive thing I see most people don't understand, is how to identify bottlenecks and unlock unlimited skill and actually reach the next level. Okay. Because a lot of people, especially if you're doing like outbound prospecting right now, or you're doing outbound emails, LinkedIn, etc., is you need to be able to identify the bottlenecks. And so here, what you need to do is you want to have a clear view and overview of your marketing and sales value chain metrics, of what I call them. You can see in the YouTube ad stuff, I have the value chain metrics. I have it all the way from the front end of the funnel, the impressions, of views, clicks, everything all the way down throughout the entire value chain metrics, right? And this is where most people don't even know what they need to do. They don't even know where to look. They don't know what levers to pull to be able to make an outsized return and impact in their marketing and sales, and be able to scale their business fast. Okay. So when you have accuracy on these, it allows you to have complete control in terms of how to scale the business. Okay. Because then you know where you need to pull, what you need to solve and need to focus on. So if you're not familiar with what a bottleneck is, well, it's the point of greatest congestion causing delay within a system, and its limited capacity that it has reduces the capacity of the whole chain. So for example, like it's the tightest kind of part of the bottleneck. So if you picture like a pipe, right? And you have the different components of your business, like the leads, right? You have the appointments, you have the sales closing, you have basically onboarding and fulfillment, right? Where's the point of most congestion in the pipe? If it's most of the time, I find it's leads. People just need more leads. Sometimes they get leads or connections on LinkedIn or something like that, but they can't convert those into actual appointments. Okay. So that's where you need to identify the bottleneck. And the result of having a bottleneck, maybe you can relate to this, is lack of sales, maybe some net losses on the balance sheet, maybe your calendar's completely dry, right? Maybe pressure for some customers, right? Where maybe you're getting too many customers and you can't handle them, right? Maybe if you're like an agency, it's going to be hard to scale unless you focus on relieving that bottleneck. Okay. And the performance of the system as a whole is limited by the output of the tightest bottleneck or most limiting constraint. Okay. So again, it doesn't matter like how many leads you have if you can't convert them into appointments, right? That could be the biggest bottleneck. And if you're trying to get more leads, I need more leads, but you haven't focused on the main bottleneck, which is converting them into appointments, then there's no point. Your business isn't going to scale, right? Hopefully this makes a lot of sense, because a lot of people, they focus on the wrong things, right? And so essentially therefore no changes made to the system result in the overall improvement unless that change addresses the bottleneck, right? So I see so many people tweaking their websites or posting blogs or without fixing this constraint, which is, for example, no book calls, or the constraint could mean that you have your calendar's packed, right? Your personal calendar's packed, and now you need to hire a salesperson, right? That could be a constraint. That happened to us a few times. It happened to us right now. We had to hire more salespeople, right? So you have to understand where the bottleneck is and how you can unlock unlimited skill by focusing on that bottleneck, and nothing else matters if you just focus on that, okay? And this is a massive, massive lesson that can really unlock massive scale for the business. So let me give you some examples. So let's talk about this, where let's call it constraint scenario 1. So let's say insufficient volume, right? Let's say that you have insufficient volume of appointments on the calendar, right? Let's say that you don't have enough calls coming in, right? Appointments coming in. Well, here's how you can look at it. So let's say we're talking in terms of like YouTube ads, right? Let's say you spent let's say we're looking at last month's data. Like, let's say we're analyzing it from the previous 30 days, right? And let's say you spent $3,500 on ads, right? And your availability, so the slots in your calendar, you can take 80 slots in the month, right? Or let's say a salesperson can take 80 slots in a month, right? Well, those are the number of open slots on the calendar, so the availability. So you have 80 slots open. And let's say you booked 20 strategy sessions, which are like sales calls, right? Well, your booked ratio is you're 25% booked, right? You can still have 75% more open availability. And let's say you're getting, these 20 calls divided by this is $175 per call, which is good, right? And then strategy sessions taken, let's say that 15 people showed up, like you actually got on the phone with them. That's a 75% show up rate, which is good again, right? And then let's say you made 14 offers. So that's about a 93% offer rate. So that means that most of the people that got on the phone were qualified. And let's say you made 4 sales, right? That would mean that you got a 26% close rate. So you got number of sales divided by strategy sessions taken. So you got 4 divided by 15, not offers made, but on actual strategy sessions taken. So you got 26% close rate. And let's say your price point $6,000, right? And again, this is another constraint. Maybe you need to increase your pricing, right? So there's different things we can play with. But let's say your price point $6,000 and your new revenue that you generated was $24,000. So this is like new revenue, not cash collected. So let's say you sold, again, 4 of these at $6,000. That's $24,000. And your revenue ROI would have been 685%. So you put in $1 and you got back 6.85, right? Really, really good ROI. Let's say your cash collected, you collected 18,000. So you put in 35, you got out 18, and say average day one cash is 4,500. So minus split payments, everything like that. Let's say your average day one is 4,500. Okay, because some people may do it in half, whatever, full payments, etc. Let's just say 4,500. So that's again 18,000 in cash, but you did 24,000 rev, and you're going to collect the remaining $6,000 in the next month, right? Let's say the payment plans, right? Cash ROI is 514%, or 5 to 1 ROI. And let's say your total cash in the business was $45,000, right? So that's about a 1,200% ROI. You spent 3,500 and you made 1,200%, right? 12 to 1 ROI. Really good. Again, most people look at it just on the individual, like, what is this ad producing? They don't look at it as a business, right? So pretty good ROI. And so here, let me ask you, where do you think the constraint is here? I mean, I kind of already gave you the answer, but insufficient volume, right? Because you're only 25% booked. So in this example, you need to focus on getting more volume. So which means you need to spend more. And then getting this one marketing channel that's consistent, scalable, and profitable, and ramping that up, right? Because you still have 60 additional slots that you can fill in the month, and you can just spend more money, right? And if you do that, you're going to be able to scale the business, right? So that's a very, very simple solution. You just spend more money on ads, get more volume of calls, and you're going to, just scale faster, right? And then the next thing that will come up is there's going to be another bottleneck once this happens. Let's say the next bottleneck is now you have insufficient availability, right? So let's say you've ramped up ad spend, right? And now you're spending $20,000 on ads, right? Which some of you, it may seem like a lot. $20,000 is not that much on ads, especially if it's really profitable, right? Again, let's say you have same amount of available slots, and let's say that you have 80 slots on the calendar and 78 of them were booked, right? So you have about 97.5% booked ratio, right? And let's say that the cost per strategy session, right? You spent $20,000, you generated 78 calls, $256 per call. Not bad either, right? Typically, we see it between $100 and $350 a call, which is pretty standard. And let's say that 50 of them showed up, right? So you've actually got on the phone with 50 of them. So again, 65% show up rate. Let's say you made 45 offers. So again, good offer rate, 90%. Most of the people that got on the phone are qualified. You made them an offer and you got 12 sales. So that's 24% conversion rate. So you did 78 calls, or you taken 50 calls and you closed 12, right? Not bad. That's pretty standard. And let's say your price point's $9,800, right? So let's say new revenue that you generated was $117,000, right? Revenue ROI, 585%. And let's say your cash collected, again, your average cash, so it's $9,800. Let's say based on payment plans, everything, you're collecting average $6,000, right? So let's say you generated $72,000 in cash collected. Again, that's a 360% cash ROI. And let's say total cash in the business was $132,000, right? So about 6.6 to 1 ROI on the entire business cash that you've collected. Maybe you got, maybe some sales from referrals or some LinkedIn or whatever the case may be, right? And you generated $132 in cash. So the solution here, let me ask you guys, I'm pretty sure it's obvious, but here you have insufficient availability. So you can only take 2 more calls, basically. Obviously, based on the ones that aren't taken, but you can't account for that. You got to account for like the bookings, right? So the solution here is hire your first closer. okay? Or hire more closers, because if this is one of your closers, you need to hire another closer, right? To increase the availability so that the bottleneck right now is the amount of calls they can take. Because you can't, if you spend more on ads, you're just, one, you're gonna probably gonna get a decrease in ROI because your salesperson can't handle that, right? Or number two is you could simply ask them to basically open up more slots in their calendar for the same person. But you have to take into account that 5 to 6 45-minute slots daily is usually optimal range, given the show up rate is around, again, 60 to 80%. The show up rate is lower. Sometimes you can book like 7 to 8 slots, right? Or maybe even more, like 10 slots, if you're getting about 50 to 70% show up rate, because your goal should be taking about 4 to 6 actual taking calls a day. And if you do that, you're going to close at least like 1 to 2 of them a day, right? Sometimes more, 2 to 3 a day, right? And so that's where the end goal should be, is like getting on about 4 to 6 calls a day. Same with your sales team, like actually taking calls, and you just need to have them packed calendars, okay? And then once you hire the closer, then you can, again, scale up the marketing, fill the calendar, train the closer, and then see where the next constraint happens, okay? And then you can figure out from there. It could be, oh, well, it could be something completely else. It could be maybe it's not a profitable on the front end of the ads, right? Then you need to put in some other additional systems in place to be able to focus on that constraint. But anywhere, if you were to focus on the business, you would be like, oh, well, I just need to spend more money on ads, or, it's not as profitable, I can't scale. Well, you need to understand what the constraint is and then focus all of your attention on that, right? Similarly above, right? If you were to hire a closer here, right, then it wouldn't have made sense, because now you're splitting it between 2 different closers or 2 different sales, or you and a closer, when you just need to spend more money on ads, right? And a lot of people focus on the wrong things. And this is where we talk about in terms of focusing on the constraint and alleviating this constraint so you can unlock unlimited scale. Because all it is about removing bottlenecks and focusing on the highest point of congestion, and releasing that so you can open more throughput through your systems, so you can generate, again, more profits, scale the business, get to 100K, 200, 400, 500K a month really, really fast by opening up the calendars and scaling the business, okay? So hopefully you found massive value in this video. If you want to learn YouTube ads, again, I only do this for my highest level clients. If you want to learn this one-on-one with me, so you get that one-on-one attention, again, I didn't learn YouTube ads from a course. And so if you want to learn one-on-one how to leverage YouTube ads, how to scale the business, and how to add an additional 100K to $1 million a month with YouTube ads, then what I want you to do is I want you to click the link in the description to apply for a call. I'll literally hop on a call with you, and I'll walk you through exactly how we can implement this, and we'll create an action plan and a whole strategy based on the ecosystem that you watched in the video. And I'll show you exactly how you can scale. Okay, so this is, again, very, very high level stuff. This is only for you really if you're doing around that 20K to 50K a month, and you really want to get to 100, 200, 300, 500, even $1 million a month, then this is perfect for you. Again, I work one-on-one. We also have a little higher level mastermind, which we'll talk about as well. But this is typically for my highest level clients, whether you have a coaching, consulting, info product, really high ticket business, then, or you're in the B2B space, then I can definitely help you with this. So click the link in the description and book a call. I'll get on the call with you. We'll map out a strategy. And if you want to move forward, great. I'll show you exactly how we can get this ramped up and get you to 100K to $1 million a month. So that's it for this video. Smash the like button, hit subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.